I'd like to say that we are just starting the show live now, but guess what? We already did a show from 8 o'clock to 8:38, but we had some technical difficulties, so I made everybody bounce. Nikki was there, Truth was there, and evidently no one can find the live feed, so I'm not really sure what is going on from a technical aspect. So I'm flying solo right now. We'll see who comes in. I'm hoping you guys pop in the room. We already went over. Look, see, there it goes. Now I see you guys. So crazy. Like, let's see if I can get you guys in here. I see you guys piling in the room now. Brand, chat, comments. It was only live on Twitter. YouTube's working now. All right, there you guys are. Wow. Damn. I was getting nervous there. I did a whole show already for just so you guys know. I've been live. We've been live since 8 o'clock. YouTube now. Thank you. Now I just need to get Nikki and the Truth back. Not that I can't do this by myself. So in case you missed anything, I did the top 10 things you didn't know about your 22 Giants. We talked about Darius Slayton and if that catch was his fault or not. We were actually just getting into talking about Barkley and Mark. There you are. Love to see you, buddy. Love to see you, Joe. I see you, Brad. I see you, Colt. See you guys coming in. I was about to tell everyone that Barkley, 22, 39, and 63 yards. That's his rushing totals for the last 3 weeks. Is there something wrong with Barkley? If the guy wants to get paid, he definitely is going to need to do something. What's up, Jake? I can't believe that I just did a half-hour show and you guys weren't here. Like, I almost feel like I have to do it all over again. So that was my fault. I guess there was something wrong with the feed, and I'm assuming now that Nikki and Truth can't get back in. So I don't know where everybody is. And I see, and you're dead on about Tibbs. Wait, okay, so Cole, you saw, you must have been watching, I guess, on Twitter maybe. Yeah. We were talking about the pass rush. It's very cool that we finally have a pass rush because we, five sacks, 5 different guys. However, I was a little bit disappointed with the fact that there you are. What's up, Brandon? No, we had some technical issues with the YouTube show. I think it was only on Twitter. So we were live at 8 o'clock. And I also had Nikki. I heard you on Twitter. Okay. Thanks, Cole. I had Nikki and I had the Truth on, and now I don't know where they are either. So today's all messed up. It must be because we had a tie. All right. I'm going to run through this one more time. Top 10 things we didn't know. We covered that. I can do that again if I don't get a co-host here. I can always go over those for you folks. We talked a little about Slayton. That wasn't on Jones. That was a rip from Jones with a guy in his face. Threw it out right to the hash. Watch the film back. You can see Slayton slows down at the 50-yard line. And then, of course, turns around. The ball's on top of him. And he does this, acrobatic catch. He didn't need to do. He just didn't run the route. He stopped running the route. And when you stop running the route, the ball goes over your head. I was completely on Slayton. So we covered that already. And then we started talking about Barkley. We can't quite figure out what's wrong with Barkley. If the guy wants to get paid, must be operator error. I believe that could be true, Cole. That could be true. Sometimes I'm just flying by the seat of my pants and literally just rocking it, as I go. But I think this time it was a back end thing. So I'm giving myself a mulligan. And the last thing we talked about, of course, is the pass rush. We have 5 sacks, 5 different guys, and the effort is there from Tibbs. There is no doubt the effort is there from Tibbs. It just happens to be he's one-dimensional. Bull rush is designed to put, the tackle on his heels. He doesn't have a swim move. He can't dip and rip. He's just a bull rusher, but he's not strong enough yet. Now, Ojulari being back is definitely going to make a difference. For Tibbs. I'm not saying he's a tweener. I'm just saying he's going to have to he's long and tall. He needs to get stronger. Let me pop this up here because Brandon wrote a book for me. I hate how everyone's getting on Tibbs for not stripping or carrying him into the end zone for a safety to win the game. Oh no, I'm with you, Brandon. I don't think he made a great athletic play. You can see the tackle completely doesn't block him. He's got a great shot at the quarterback. He's a rookie. I mean, like, yeah, maybe you get a more seasoned guy like Dexter Lawrence would probably sling him into the end zone for the safety. But again, he's a rookie. He is playing really, really hard. Remember, if you play college ball, okay, your season ended 2 weeks ago. These guys have been going since, the draft, OTAs, mini camp. They're playing. This is a completely, they're probably in, 10 weeks more than they do in college. You're rolling in August. These guys are already working out in April and May. Their season's longer. So there is some fatigue from some of these younger guys. But again, he's a rookie. I'm fine with his effort. I'm definitely fine. You're right, Brad. I would love – actually, I think Tibbs reminds me of Osi Umenyiora. I'm going to pop this up for you guys. Need to get Tuck Osistray in for a little bit of a clinic for Tibbs. I'm with you, Brad. I think he's definitely has that speed rush type of form. He's long and thin and tall. I don't see him as a Strahan. I mean, Strahan was all strength. I mean, how many times did he bench press John Runyon? I mean, it was fantastic. And yes, a little bit of growing pains, no doubt, Brandon. So right now, again, be happy with the pass rush. 5 sacks, 5 different guys. I think it was Dexter Lawrence. I think it was Ojulari, Tibbs. I think Wynn might have had one. It's coming along slowly. The biggest issue that the Giants have right now is these guys can't cover. Whether they're in a dime or a nickel, they can't cover. There's just too much space. They went right down the field. And then, of course, Wink made some adjustments. But defensive backs are high on the list for the draft this year. And, of course, we could also say that Ojulari put all that weight on, right? Oh, that muscle. Someone told me that he put on 15 pounds of muscle, and then the guy hasn't been able to play. He's got a lot of soft tissue injuries. So super cool to have him back. I was, I already said it, he was going to have 11 sacks. You know what I mean? Like, I was all over having Ojulari back. So, yeah, Cole, it's super cool to have him back. He's going to free up Tibbs a little bit. So there is some positives there. And I'm saying, Cole, stop reading my mind. One thing that we need to at least address, since I covered a lot of stuff, and if you put it in the chat and you want me to go back over it, I will, since most of you guys weren't here. For some reason, YouTube wasn't working, only Twitter was. So here's the deal. There's an issue with the corners. We know about that. What is damning is the lack of linebacker play. Okay. And I'll break this down for you because I did spend some time watching specifically the linebackers and Jalen Smith. So Jalen Smith is a freaky wild athlete. The issue with Jalen Smith is twofold. He doesn't have a team back-to-back years for a reason, because the cat is all instinctual. If you watch him, he flies out. As soon as the ball is snapped, he's flying out. He doesn't read his keys and he doesn't fill holes. So while he's a good, like, kind of a sideline backer, he can chase you down from one side of the field to the other. He's always in the wrong spot and gets washed out because he doesn't read his keys and he never steps up in the hole. He's an inside linebacker who plays like an outside linebacker who doesn't read any keys. I mean, he's never in the right spot. He's always chasing the play from behind because he's too instinctual. He just wants to say, I know what's going to happen, and he blows out. Well, smart linebackers, reason why I liked Martinez so much was he's very cerebral dude, Stanford guy, he's reading the tackle for run pass. He's reading the guard for run pass. He's scraping between traffic. Jalen Smith just can't do it. And again, if he was such a great linebacker, why did he have no team for 2 years? And why do the Giants keep signing him off the scrap heap? Micah McFadden is, people want to call him like the Blake Martinez light. He's not. And not at this stage, of course. I mean, Blake came in the league and hit the ground running and bang. I mean, that dude was hitting everything, right? McFadden definitely is a downhill linebacker, more of a 2-down linebacker, of course. He definitely is a good blitzing linebacker, but he's still a little awkward, and I think that comes with blanking dudes. You can't expect a guy to, get a groove going if Wink sits him for 2-3 games. Like, he needs to get in a groove. He needs to learn the defense. He needs to feel, the scheme. And he's in and he's out. Like, he'll literally sit the bench for 2 games. So I like McFadden. He might be the future. I don't know. He can tackle, which is another thing about how bad tackling is in the NFL. I see you, K-Mac. Let me pop this up on here. K-Mac says you will love Sanders out of Arkansas. You know what? Don't watch any Arkansas ball, so I'll have to take your word for it. And, look, I'm wearing my Spartans because, I'm a Michigan State guy who, we had a rough year. Don't remind me. But, yeah, I'll check him out, K-Mac. I will definitely check him out. The linebacker play. Tate Crowder. And, guys, maybe I'm old school. You guys can call me an old head if you want. But, like, shut the bleep up, Tate Crowder. Like, you're not playing, so you go to Twitter and you're going to cry about it? Like, give me a break, dude. There are plenty of fantastic players, like, that have sat the bench and waited their turn. Steve Young is in the Hall of Fame, and he sat behind Joe Montana for years. I mean, there are guys that just sit until it's time. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's not a great linebacker to begin with. So, I don't think that's cool. That's not team ball. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, if you were good enough, you'd be playing. And don't go to crying on Twitter about, like, oh, man, set me free. You know where we should set him free? The parking lot. That's where we should set him free. Because he's not contributing anyway. I don't even know if he plays special teams. Brad, yes, 100% accurate on Beavers. Beavers. I think, he's got some potential too. They just really, Roger Sapplefine, Favre, 100%, Mark. So I'm over Tate Crowder. I've been over Tate Crowder for years. I've been trying to tell you guys, like, you can't make a career on one play hitting Derrick Henry. The guy has never been, he's hot garbage. You're right, Cole, he is. So, nice dude. Okay, like, I heard he's a great locker room guy, but, he's not a great inside linebacker. The Giants can't fill holes. They are catching tackles 3-4 yards down at the second level. So that's my rant. That's my linebacker rant. I'm assuming that Nicky and Truth can't get back in because I don't see them anywhere. Let's see. People want to know what the Instagram is. It's NY Giants _rush. What's up, Alex? Good to see you in the room, brother. Trudeau, with the language. He's a bum, though. He is. No, look, the guy might be a good guy. He's just not an NFL linebacker. That's cool. I don't want to kill him. Yes, Instagram, NY Giants _rush. In case Twitter blows up and goes away. I'd appreciate if you guys could follow on Instagram, tell your friends, tell your girlfriend, your wife, that we got a page there. I got these sick magnets in, by the way. Check these guys out. Oh, look at that. With the new logo on it. It's pretty cool. The store is open. If you go to nygiantsrush.com, the store is open. We got all new hoodies, t-shirts, magnets, you name it, phone cases, all sorts of cool stuff in there. So check out nygiantsrush.com for the team store. All right. What bothers me, let me put Mark up here, is interesting comment. What bothers me is, why did those guys feel they needed to go to Twitter? Is there a locker room issue? I don't think so, Mark. I think that, these guys have a little bit of entitlement. You know what I mean? Like, you get rid of Blake Martinez because Crowder thinks he's going to be the guy, and he's not the guy. I think guys just think that they can get away with stuff like that. You got one of those magnets. That's right. You're welcome, Mark. Of course. Yeah, I don't think there's a locker room. I mean, everyone seems to love Dabes. Everybody seems to love Shane. Everyone seems to be pretty happy in Giants land, and they're winning. I mean, I never can read Barkley. He's a tough cat to read because, of all the negative press. I mean, his post-game interview was one of the most eye-opening ones I've seen from Barkley. Said basically nothing. Dabes said nothing. And there is a little bit of heat on the Giants right now, having, 2 losses and a tie the last 3 games. there is definitely some heat. It's the first real skid the Giants have had since, the season started. So there is a little bit of like, what is going on with my Giants? So if you're a casual fan, which is fine too, we're all a big fan. I don't think there's anything locker room, Mark. I just think that, some guys feel that they should be playing over other guys. And, Wink's going to play the best guys he has. And there was someone else got benched this week too that didn't play and was spouting off on Twitter. And that's just not team ball, man. That's not what's going to win a Super Bowl by talking smack. It's just sorry. It's just not going to happen. So let's get into, okay, we talked a little bit about the throw, with Slayton. We talked a little bit about the sack or the safety that didn't happen. There was 6 plays left on the board, guys. Feliciano flexing. Evidently, he's celebrating with Rodarius. Thanks, Chris. Forget him too. There's no room for it, man. There's no room for it. The Giants want to be great again. It's not going to be by bitching on Twitter about your playing time. That's so childish. Give me a break. So now I lost my train of thought. These plays are hurting the Giants. If you want to be considered, and I was saying this before, if you want to be considered a good team, a playoff worthy team, you don't make these kind of mistakes where your quarterback doesn't fumble the first series of the game. Your center doesn't run down the field and flexes and gets a taunting penalty. Your wide receiver doesn't stop running. So there's a little bit of the Giants either sniffing themselves a little bit too much, or maybe Daboll's got to get a little harder on them, or it's just a little bit of mental errors right now. I don't really know why. But none of that can happen if you want to win games against good football teams. It's just, off topic. Do your tanks run small or, hang on, Brandon. Let me see. Brandon's asking me a clothing question. Off topic. Do your tanks run small or just right? Yeah, that's a good question. I want to say they're pretty true to form, Brandon. Maybe put, ask some people in the chat like Nikki, she's got a tank. I don't know if you're talking about for a guy or a girl, but I think they're pretty true to form. Biggest gripe is the illegal man downfield every game. I'll put that up there. That's also a good one, Brad. Look, it's just one of many things that's going on. I mean, you win the game if Slayton catches the ball. You win the game if Tibbs throws him in the end zone for a safety. You win the game if Feliciano's not flexing out. There's a ton of opportunities the Giants could have won that game and didn't. The tie felt like a loss. There's no doubt about it. All right. All right, Sean, do you know that for a fact? He's only part of the board. We can thank Mara for the taunting rule. Listen, I'm first online, Sean, if it was exclusively his doing, but I'm sure those things get voted on. He's part of the NFL rule committee, so it's not all him. But yeah, that's a dumb rule. What's even a bigger dumb rule is that in the NFL, the biggest sports, company, program, platform in the world, we have ties. Ties. Who has freaking ties? Unbelievable. All right, wait, hang on. I got to get Jay up here because I think Jay's off the rails. Our roster is trash, and everybody gets down that we are 7-4. Our roster is trash, and everybody gets down that we're 7-4. Well, Jay, I'm not sure. You might need to elaborate on that a little bit more because we are 7-4, and that's way better than being 3-7 or 3-8. And I don't know, how old of a cat you are, but the Giants have sucked since 2011. So, you know what? I'm cool with where they're going now. So, yes, I want to be in a better mood and have fun with the games going on Sunday, watching them at home. I don't want to bitch and complain all the time. I want to have some fun. However, I do understand what you're saying about the roster, but I'm going to read something to you guys. So strap in a little bit. I'm going to do this again for you guys because you guys are awesome and you guys, support everything we do here at NY Giants Rush. I'm going to read you the top 10 things you didn't know about your 22 New York Giants again, but I'm going to run through them a little fast. It's a rebuild and people are complaining at 7-4. Yes, they are complaining. But you know what, Jay? The rebuild, you're at a push. You're at a part in the season where it's a push. You thought a rebuild was going to be a 4-win or a 5-win season, and then you call it the rebuild. The rebuild is happening because they hit it on the draft, and the players they brought in are producing, and the players you had that you thought weren't any good are producing. So the rebuild curve is a lot shorter than it used to be. But yes, you do have some valid points. There is some holes on this roster, which I'm going to get to. But let me read you this list real quick, so strap in. All right. Strong safety Julian Love is ranked second in the NFL among safeties with tackles with 96. Number 2, Dexter Lawrence before the season was not ranked in the top 30 for defensive tackles, and now he's on his way to his first Pro Bowl bid. Graham Gano has only missed 3 field goals this year. If he had made the 58-yard field goal, it would be the longest field goal in New York Giants history. These are all true, by the way. Daniel Jones led the team in rushing with 73 yards on 13 carries. What else can the guy freaking do? You guys hate him for everything, and he's still balling. Number 5 is since OT. This is all for you guys on the overtime thing. I'm actually doing this over since you guys missed half the show. Since overtime became a thing in 1974, there have been 29 ties. There were 2 ties in 22, 1 in 21, 1 in 20. The Detroit Lions have been part of 2 ties in the last 4 years. Number 6, Saquon Barkley, of course, rushing for over 1,000 yards. Number 3 in the NFL. However, his last 3 totals, which still blows my mind, is 22, 30, 39, and 63. So what the, what? So worst stretch that he's had since before the ACL. All right, this is actually one of my favorites for you guys. Darius Slayton is averaging 17.2 yards a catch, which ranks him 5th amongst all receivers in the NFL. It's not bad for a guy you were trying to kick off the team last year. So the guy's doing a pretty damn good job. He's a great number 3, a 2 on some teams, and I'm really stoked for Slayton. Number 8 was Daniel Jones did not have an incomplete pass until the 4th quarter. Outside the spike, Daniel Jones did not have an incomplete pass to the 4th quarter. What else can your quarterback do to get you off his ass? It should be the question. Leading and rushing, scoring touchdowns, the guy's doing everything. Throwing to guys like Richie James. I would really love to see what Pat Mahomes could do with Richie James. The same thing that Jones is doing. Nothing. Number 9 is Kenny Golladay in 21 games with the New York Giants still doesn't have a touchdown. That's funny. All right, and the last one, which is super cool for you folks. I hope you've all voted for the Pro Bowl. Here we go. Ready? The Giants have only sent 3 players to the Pro Bowl since 2018. 6 Giants were amongst the top 10 vote getters as of December 1st. Barkley Thomas, McLeod on special teams, Gano, Love, and Dexter Lawrence. Boom. And that is a replay of the top 10 for you folks. So all great stuff. We covered Slayton. We covered how many opportunities that they missed, this past week. We did a little rant and rave with Nikki and Michael Stewart. We had some technical difficulties, so I do apologize about that. And yes, Chris, I want to put this up here. This is also the reason why we don't have great wide receivers is we have absolutely no yards after catch. Like we just don't have those type of ballers. They don't run in the end zone. They're possession receivers. So, I try not to sound like snarky, folks. And I'm not enamored with Daniel Jones. I'm just looking at the facts is that he's playing with guys that should not be there. Okay, so you can hate on the guy, but he's doing everything he possibly can with what is given to him. And that is Richie James, David Sills, Darius Slayton, the kid they just picked up from Buffalo. Like, he's literally working behind a makeshift offensive line. And you could say about the whole 4 years, he's been injured, okay? Playing behind an absolutely disgusting offensive line for 3 years. And now he's finally putting it together because he's got a better offensive line. We still need a guard and a center, and we still need 3 wide receivers. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do. And again, he's not Pat Mahomes, and he's not Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow. He's none of those cats. Okay. So, but there are pieces, Jay. There are pieces that I just read. The Barkley, Thomas, Neal, Dexter, Love, McKinney when he's not being an idiot on vacation. There are pieces, but the vital pieces are missing, which are the skill players. We don't use Breida. We have no wide receivers. Bellinger just came back. So there are pieces missing, but we're doing pretty well for what the Giants have, So I don't know. And don't ask me if they're going to pay him. I don't know. You got to give Barkley at least a Chubb deal. I don't know about what you're going to do with Jones. I think he wants to stay. Let me see what else is in here. Cold says, Jones isn't the issue. If he had a guy that could get separation, things would be different. 100%. Like, our guys can't get any separation. They're covered all the time. And by the way, I said this earlier this morning, that I've been in plenty of defensive back rooms and skeleton drills, and I will tell you that if the defense does not have to game plan for your wide receivers, they focus on the only things that you do well. And what do the Giants do well? They utilize Barkley in the running and the passing game. If I'm not sweating Richie James and Hodgins and Slayton, you're not running a lot of dime. You're not putting yourself in an awkward position where you have to have more defensive backs contributing to coverage. You're getting some single high safety stuff. You're getting one-on-ones because they're not afraid of your wide receivers. There's no separation. And I mean, look, Richie James ran right into Barkley. What does that tell you about our number 2 wide receiver on the team? That he sucks? I mean, come on, folks. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Let's see. Oh, I see. Let's see. If he's smart and he's looking for any ops he can grab, he has very skilled. But yeah, 100%. They don't use, and that's Ali. Great point. I mean, look, we had Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? We had Jacobs, we had Ward, we had Bradshaw, right? Tiki Barber ran behind a bunch of fullbacks like Hynoski, right? Or might even have been Jim Finn, I think, for Tiki Barber. Like, we have Breida, and he's completely unused. We could give Barkley a break at any time, but we don't. So there are some things that need to get better. And yes, Patel, 100%. Center's not my number 1. Wide receiver, cornerback, then center and linebacker, or linebacker center. All those things are 100% needed and will be addressed at some point. They have to be. We are one good. Jay's got some good stuff today. He's on fire. We are one good draft and a couple mid-level free agent signings away from being a contender. Nice foundational pieces. I believe it. Jones is not. How about this? Let's hit the reset button. If you bring in a rookie quarterback, right, and you want him to learn from someone, now you're going to go get Tyrod, which is going to set the franchise back because he's just not a baller anymore. Dalton played pretty well the other night. You're going to go spend, I don't know, you're going to spend guy to groom this new quarterback. Are you going to give up draft capital to move up? And guess what? How many of you watch Ohio State? Probably none of you, or a handful of you. How many people are you watching Alabama, except for highlight films and ESPN? Like, how many are you watching Kentucky? Right? I mean, my point is that, like, these guys aren't better than what you have, and they're going to take one time to learn the playbook and get up to speed of the speed of the NFL. Do you want to lose another 2 years? I don't. I don't. Can Jones win you a Super Bowl? It's hard to say. I do think that, like, we're missing too many pieces to win a Super Bowl with Jones. if you're telling me I've got, I got a rookie, two rookie wide receivers that are studs. You tell me I got Jamar Chase and Smith or any of these, Jefferson. If you're telling me I got those receivers, and you're telling me I got some badass center, and I've got, Ray Lewis, playing linebacker. I mean, like, we need too many things to start over with a quarterback, because even a new quarterback's not going to make Richie James look any better than he is. So we got to believe in the process. Okay. I've said this earlier today. I was mistaken. I said they were number 1 in the NFL. They're actually number 2. The Giants are second in drop passes up until a week ago. It's every 16 passes from Daniel Jones, there's a drop. I think the Ravens were number 1. Giants are number 2. And that's an atrocity. Okay. If they're dropping one of every 16 balls, I mean, when's that going to, that could come 2-3 times a game. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on it and you guys aren't thinking about. There are 20 teams in the NFL that want to upgrade their quarterback, and they just can't. It's just not there. So guys should just strap in with Jones and go get him someone. I mean, I know you want something different. I get it. But you can't have instant gratification, people. It's just not going to happen. It's too hard to find a guy what Jones brings. And by the way, if you take off every first down that Daniel Jones ran for this year, how many first downs do we actually have? Without those, without those first downs, you're losing a crap ton more games. I don't know. Let me put Bones up here. If Trent Dilfer could beat us in a Super Bowl, 100% Bones, 100%. Now, again, Bones, that was the best defense in NFL history. Okay? So that one might be a little borderline, but I appreciate that. Mark says, part of the reason why Barkley isn't being used as a receiver is that he is needed for pass protection. Maybe, well, you know what then? They should put Breida and Barkley in the backfield. I mean, run with the fullback. We got rid of the fullback. I mean, we just need to figure out. Kafka was not. I mean, look, did we not go in the tank with the play calling in the fourth quarter? We needed the rollout, run a screen, the draw. The draw worked great in the first quarter. The draw. And then what do? We do nothing come fourth quarter and we sit on it and punt. There was a bunch of things wrong with that game. So I don't know where to go with it, but we are going to play that team again. And the best thing I heard on Twitter today was someone said that a winner take all. Whoever wins the next game, Giants, Commanders, gets the win for both games. Great concept. And 2, I don't care. Go to a college shootout. Put the ball on the 20-yard line, first guy in. I mean, just no more ties. This is the NFL we're talking about. It's embarrassing. I don't know what you guys think about that, but there should be a better way. There should be no ties. I'm sure Vegas isn't happy either. So now that we're pandering to Vegas and sports books around the world, I would think that they would want to get rid of the tie. So it's, it's interesting because, again, I haven't seen the tie from the Giants, so I feel like it's a loss. Chris, Gawinski played like crap. Okay, again, not defending him, just spitting out Chris facts. The guy had the flu all week, right? I think 3 or 4 of them had the flu. No, I'm not making excuses for him, but I'm just not sure how healthy he was come game time. Mark says, I think we're all assuming that we'll lose against the Eagles. Well, I mean, look, it's about Jalen Hurts. He's the same guy he was last year. All he does now is he's got all-world receiver. He just needs to throw the ball. Once those receivers stretch the defense and rip the top off, he's got plenty of running lanes. So that cat can move, right? But so can Jones. But we need to open it up, and we don't have the receiving threats to open it up. What's Pete say? Hey, Craig, in the draft, what do we draft first? There's no way around it, Pete. You got to draft a wide receiver if available because you just don't have the money to go out and pay Barkley, Jones, and some stud wide receiver, a free agent wide receiver. Now, I'm sure someone in the chat, there's a billion of you guys in the room. I see all you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, Spence, what's going on? Pablo says, what's up? If you think about the money and you're spreading it out, there's not going to be enough cash flow to go out and hook, line, and sinker a stud wide receiver. But someone tell me in the chat, what stud wide receivers or free agents that you want? Something tells me it's not a good class. So Pete, you got to go wide receiver with the first pick in the draft, then a corner. And you know what? I know. I think Chris and the Rush team were laughing at me, but I'd go wide receiver, cornerback, wide receiver, first three picks. It doesn't have to be first 3 rounds, but first 3 picks, wide receiver, corner, wide receiver. Then I could dip into center and linebacker. So it's not a good class, Pete. All right, I appreciate that. No one's out there, Chris. Well, there you go. You got to draft a wide receiver. Like you literally need to take that big, bad receiver off the board. And no, it's not Marvin Harrison Jr. I know you're all salivating over the guy. He's only a sophomore. He's not eligible to come out. So after 2023, which is the 2024 draft, right? Because college will end in December. Playmaking linebacker 100% Jay will be nice. I'm hoping McFadden will make strides in year 2. But yeah, I'm thinking your linebackers are a must too. We left a lot of linebackers on the board this past year. Like, hey, look, you guys are going to kill me for this, but the move wasn't Wan'Dale Robinson at 2. Like, it just wasn't. Like, it's really hard to make it in the NFL. I had stats here somewhere that I did since the year 2000. There's only been about 8 guys to make it and at 5'8", 170. Most of them were special teams guys, and they averaged around 3 years from a career standpoint because they're too small. They get bludgeoned. Now, Tyler Lockett and of course Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill, they can get away with it. They have sick, crazy speed. They're the outliers. So Wan'Dale Robinson wasn't the pick. That second pick could have helped us out in a ton of different ways, with a ton of different types of draft picks. So wide receiver, corner, wide receiver are my first 3 picks. So I hope you guys are cool with that. Since I'm flying solo here at the second part of the Giants, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, guys, subscribe. It helps us out. It definitely is something that means a lot to us. If because you do support us, just subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. And then, you know what? When I pop this thing up on YouTube, go on there and make a comment. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what subjects you want us to cover. I'm working on new interviews. I know you guys are in the chat asking me about who's going to be our next interview since we haven't had one since October with Lawrence Tynes. Working on a bunch of dudes. So as soon as I get, some more info, I will be sure to let you know. Thank you, Allie from Cali. Yes, I am running with the ball. We were on for a half hour doing our thing, and then I don't know what happened, but no one was in the chat. I couldn't see you guys. So I hit the reset button and started over, but I'm glad I did because, I could see Allison and Peter and Brandon and Jay and Joe. I see Jack, Brad, Peter, Tom, Mark. All you guys are in here. Bones is in here. Chris, Shawnee B. Shawnee B, we need to get you an icon. The big S is the big orange S is just weird. We need to get you like something else. I don't know what it is, but we need to get you a different icon for this. So I know who you are. The big S. I blow by it too many times. So Real Cold's always here with us every week. Has anyone seen Breida? I don't even know. I can't quite figure out. Like, I know they brought Breida in to play, and I don't know. I can't quite figure that part out either. He is definitely missing in action. All right, what else do we have in here? Do you guys want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm going to pop out of here since today was a little bit of a cluster. Galladay, yeah, he'll be gone, eating some money there. But, as I said here, 21 games as a New York Giant, still doesn't have a touchdown. I even went as far to say this a couple times. You guys laughed at me that for $74 million, you could keep $10 million and be a millionaire. Keep $10 million in the bank. Take the other, $64 million and go feed the entire third world countries and make clean wells for water and feed them and put shoes on all these poor countries that don't have the same resources we do and still have money left over. But nope. Uncle Sam's going to take half that, and then he's going to sail off into the sunset with all that cash. So, yeah, that was just who knew? That we all were wrong on that one. We're all eating crow on the Galladay thing. Yeah, his name is – that's pretty funny. Let's see if I can find that again. That was funny, Pete. His name is Kenny Gonaway. Yep, definitely. Brandon loves Breida. I don't know if I – Brandon, how do we love the guy? We don't know what he could do. We can't get on the field. So, in theory, unless I guess if you're watching his old teams, I think he came from San Francisco. I kind of like him, but I haven't seen anything he could do. And I mean, nothing. The guy, someone can jump in the chat, tell me how many carries he's got for the year. 20? It's kind of a waste. Chris is going out on a skinny limb. Nails says Galladay will score a big touchdown in Washington. All right, folks, write that down. You heard Chris just put his foot, open his mouth, and put that in there because now he's on the hook. He's on the hook for a touchdown. So Chris is going to have to sing or something. We're going to have to come up with something that Chris has to do if he doesn't score a touchdown. What? Aaron Judge is going to San Francisco. Patel, do not ruin my evening. Patel, you're lying to me. Stop it. Right now. I love you, Patel, but no. That's how life messes with you. Yeah, I know, Chris. Andrew Thomas still has more TDs. Yes, Andrew Thomas is having a fantastic year. All right, what else do we have in here do you guys want to talk about? So we have upcoming, of course, is the Philadelphia Eagles. It's that game that if you're a season ticket holder, you just hate to go to because I don't even know if I hate the Eagles. I think I hate the Eagles fans more than I hate the Eagles. But just in case you guys don't know this, I worked for CBS Radio in Philadelphia for 10 years. So I worked for the Eagles Broadcasting Network. I worked with a lot of Eagles over the years. Rumors. Patel, you're killing me. Killing me. It's just rumors. Lots of rumors. Rumors that I dated Elle McPherson, but doesn't mean it's true. Eagles are going to be a tough game, of course. At least it's home. But, as you watch the refs and the chain crew this week, hometown advantage is now nil. It means nothing anymore. This crew that the Giants had this week against Washington was abysmal. How many times did they spot the ball in the wrong place? Sometimes a yard to 2 yards difference in spotting the ball. I mean, I have no idea where that crew came from or what they were doing, but it was bad news bears, that crew. Let's see. Breida has 34 carries. Thank you, Joe. Listen, Gallman had more, at 700 yards at one point when Barkley went down. I don't know why we don't give Breida a chance to offset some of the workload. He's underutilized, no doubt. He's fast, run him out of the backfield. Hey, Brandon, I'm cool in the gang, man. That's on Kafka and that's on Dable why he's not playing. I really don't know. Anyway, Eagles. The only way you win this game is twofold. You gotta spy Jalen Hurts, and you gotta bring the heat. They made Jalen Hurts look so bad last week. Okay, last year. But he's just an extremely good athlete. I don't know if he's a great quarterback. He's a great athlete, but he makes plays. Brightwell, great point, Peter. Brightwell, love to give him the ball, put him back. Like to see him get some carries too. But if you're gonna hang in there with the Eagles, then they got two great receivers. we don't have great DBs. I'm not really sure if McKinney's coming back this week. I didn't think he was having a great season to begin with, so I think he's got a lot to prove this year. Love has just basically come out of the box and just say, bang. I mean, he's like completely like, boom, look at me. I am a good player, and you might make the Pro Bowl. So if you haven't voted yet, go to NFL.com and vote for our Giants. Barkley, Thomas, McLeod, Gano, Love, and Dex. Sexy Dexy. So the line needs some big dudes back there, space heaters. Yeah, 100% to block for Breida. But I don't know. All these things that we're talking about, just a bunch of stuff that we can't figure out as fans. I do know that it's going to be a tough bill. You know, the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the game. Yes, Linderbaum would have been nasty for us, but we went the Wan'Dale Robinson route, and it kind of bit us in the ass. So, yeah, that could have been a valuable pick with Linderbaum. I think everything has to go right next week to win the game. You got to have 5+ sacks, just like we did this past week, right? Barkley can't run for, 63 yards. Barkley needs to rush for 125 yards and a touchdown. Jones needs to complete, 70% of his passes, 65% of his passes, like whatever, you think is necessary. But he has to throw the ball downfield because we're not going to dink and dunk on this Eagles defense, So you got to go back to the rollout. You got to go back to the draw. You got to go back to the screen. We haven't been a screen team since Tiki Barber. So anyway, I'm gonna jam. I know you guys. I jumped on late. I hope we kind of chewed it up. Format's a little crazy. I'm by myself, so I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with us for another episode of the Giants Guys. Please do me a favor and subscribe. Jump into the YouTube channel, the Giants Guys. Talk to me in the comments. I try to read them when they're there. Let me know how we're doing or what you want to see, or if we suck, tell us. We'll do that. We'll figure out how to not suck. Cheers to the NY Giants Rush team and the fam. These guys are great. We've got some cool content coming up. We're working on some pretty cool things. The store is open. You guys have been asking a ton of stuff about the gear. The gear is in the store. Hoodies, sweatshirts, tank tops, Razorbacks, that kind of stuff. It's all there for you. Just go out to nygiantsrush.com. And plus, there's a ton of content there. By the way, I'll leave you with this. If you don't know, maybe you're new to the channel, we interview Giants usually every month or every other month. We have interviewed Kurt Warner, Alex Bachman, Carl Banks, Richie Soybert, David Deal, Dominic Hickson, Kevin Boss, Jake Ballard, Kawika Mitchell, Pepper Johnson, Leonard Marshall, Kevin Booth, Dan Orlovsky, Madeline Burke, Paul Dottino, Allison's bud. We've had guys on, Lawrence Tynes is a friend of the show. He's been on a bunch of times. So if you're interested in any of those kick-ass interviews, they're all on the YouTube channel. Just go to the Giants Guys on YouTube. And finally, my last thing is this. You podheads, Apple Pods, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Apple Pods, Google Play. The podcasts are there, for your listening pleasure. So go there, download, just look up the Giants Guys. It's all there for you. Hey, got to go. Sorry for the crazy format, the on and the off, and just me rambling and taking your questions. Yes, Pete, definitely great hanging out with you. Appreciate it if you all hit that like, subscribe button. My gear finally shipped. Cold. Oh yeah. Let me know, Cold, if you like your stuff. I told you they're pretty cool. If something comes and you don't like it, they're pretty cool about replacing it. No, I haven't interviewed Peter the Beast, but he comes on every year now for the draft. We've given him a permanent invite, so Peter's always welcome at the draft show. We draft talk live. Thanks, Jay, for coming in with tons of questions. Shawnee B, always a pleasure, my guy, who turned me on to the Crowder the Crowder tweet. Moron. Not you, Sean, but Crowder. Yeah, Pete, love Brightwell. I'm just going through this stuff. Allison, I know you're on the West Coast. You had to cut your day short for hanging out with us. Appreciate it. Patel, always a pleasure. You're killing me though on the judge thing. Brad, I am literally, Brad, putting together a prize packet for you that you won. I don't have any medium t-shirts. All the t-shirts I have left are large and extra large. So putting together something for you and Spence. That'll go out. If you're still hanging out, Brad, that's going out. I mean, literally, I'm working on like some stickers, some magnets. It's literally right in front of me. I got my Giants t-shirt, the Leonard Marshall t-shirt there to rock out. Guys, love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Peace out. See you on Twitter.